Let me tell you something that will change your financial life if you let it sink in. Most financially free Muslims that I've ever met, whether that's in the UK or mostly in Dubai now, or even abroad, all have one thing in common. They own assets, they own systems, they own their time. So here's the truth: 0% of financially free people got there by just being an employee with a salary and no ownership, right? So if you want to manage money like the top 1%, but do it in a halal way, you have to understand the same principle. If you don't own something, you are owned by something. So let me show you my halal money rule. This is the exact framework that I've used for years to go from a burnt out dentist in the UK to being work optional here in the UAE. Without any riba, no gambling, no fake dreams, just a simple, proven system that anyone can do, whether you're earning 5K a month or 50K a month. You can follow this and achieve the same thing. So let's start. First of all, the first 25% of your income is for growth, okay? Money that works for you while you sleep. For Muslims, that means halal income producing assets, Sharia screened investment opportunities such as halal property investments, gold, crypto, silver, other tangible alternative assets, luxury watches, etc. This is not for lifestyle upgrades. This is for building your freedom figure, which is the point where your halal investments are going to pay for your life without you needing to work. So even if you can only start small, start now. The earlier you plant the seed, the more barakah and compounding is going to work in your favor. Then 15% is your stability fund. This is your safety net, the money that keeps you in the game when life throws a curveball. And the aim is for 5 to 6 months of essential expenses, necessary expenses, not luxury spending, necessary expenses stored in a safe and instantly accessible account, but not too accessible that you'll dip into it to buy silly things that you don't need, right? So what I personally do is I open up a separate current account within my banking app that does not have a bank card, a debit card or a credit card, etc. It doesn't have anything linked to it. It's only accessible through my online banking. So it means I'm not accidentally going to spend any money from it. And I will put 3 to 6 months of my necessary expenditure in that account, meaning in the worst case scenario, if you lose your job, for a dentist, it's not going to be a massive issue because it's an associates market. It means that you have a 6 month runway to find another job in the worst case scenario before you're going to start having any troubles. And that's phenomenal. That's exactly what we want to build for you: financial resilience. And with that money, you're not going to put into any risky investments here. The goal is protection, okay, not profit. When I didn't have this early on in my career, one unexpected car repair almost wiped me out and kept me stuck in the rat race for so long. And I made a promise to myself that I'm never ever going to let that happen again. And there's many examples of this from our colleagues as dentists or professionals where something happens in their life and it causes them to just be knocked down financially. Suddenly, they're going from doing pretty well, maybe they're living paycheck to paycheck, but they're doing all right, they're making a little bit of savings. But then suddenly this big expense comes and they're just struggling financially. So you don't want to put yourself in that position. And in order to prevent that from happening is you set aside an emergency fund. The next thing is 50%, okay, of your income should go towards essentials and you should be living below your means, okay? So this 50% is for your necessary expenses: housing, food, transport, utilities, education for the kids. The trap that a lot of high income professionals fall into is lifestyle creep. They reward themselves with bigger houses and flashier cars and other unnecessary material goods to satisfy this inner hole that they have. And they're often spending on finance, on installments, and suddenly they're earning 6 figures, but they're living month to month. So cap your essentials at least 50%, and you'll be shocked how fast you can grow your capital. And the last thing is 10%, which is towards rewards, sustainable joy. Yes, you're allowed to enjoy your money. In fact, you should. This 10% should be guilt-free. Family holidays, meaningful gifts, experiences that recharge you, not random material goods. Material goods are never going to satisfy you, but experiences, memories with your children, with your family, they are always going to be the better investment. So if you skip this completely, you're eventually going to burn out and you're going to give up on your wealth plan. And that's not a good thing. Now, a couple of things to consider. This rule that I've given you is fairly generic, but you have to consider if you are a professional, you're making six figures, then these figures are not set in stone. I would personally, even what we recommend for our clients is to be even more conservative with your expenditure. Reduce your necessary expenditure to as low as possible while still being comfortable. Pay off your bills and everything, but be sensible. Make sure you're not overpaying on anything. And there's a lot of things that you could be overpaying on, even simple things like electricity, gas. You don't need to be with the company that you've been with for 10 or 15 years. You can search the market and find something cheaper. And things like internet and TV packages. There's so much that people overspend on. And then your unnecessary expenses, your things that you're treating yourself with, those are a big expense that people spend way too much money on. So that should be very, very low, but low enough that you're allowing yourself, as I said, 10% leeway to enjoy yourself. And then the vast majority of your income, especially if you're making six figures, there's very little excuse to not be investing that because you're delaying your retirement, you're delaying your time to being work optional by so long. So stop procrastinating, stop wasting time, stop wasting your money. Be really diligent with your expenditure, minimize it. With all of that surplus, invest it. Make sure you understand how to invest it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave two links in this description for you. The first one is going to take you to my Halal Capital Club. And this is my free Telegram community where I teach Muslim professionals how to build halal wealth. And the second is going to take you to my inner circle where my team and I are personally going to mentor you to build your halal wealth system for you. Okay? So click both, join us, and let's start building your freedom figure the halal way, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.